Hello, everybody. How's it going? Put my glasses on. Let's do some numbers, shall we? Let some people get in here. Juan, yes, you are first. Sunchaser, Daniel Anami. I am mentioning you so you don't have a little fit. Snorlord, Sean Price, Larry Fisher, Dollar Bill, Pale Rider, Groundhog, CPAP, Dan Murray, Daniel Nottingham, what's up? You'll be curious to see this, Daniel. Juan, all hail the Lord of Snore. Light Bright, what's up? Yukon's in the house, Shadow Wolf's in the house. All right. Now, these are not my Truckin' Pro numbers, okay? Before I had the Truckin' Pro, I kept everything in this book, okay? What I do is I write down the load number, destination, the miles, what it paid, and all that kind of stuff, okay? Yes, you are right, Juan. You are absolutely right. And we're going to get to that here in a minute. Peterbilt Mark, what's up? Okay? And then what I do is at the end of the month, I have this filled out, okay? You guys see that for real quick? What I do on the monthly thing, I put down the miles, whether I drove or it's a half a day. Per diem is in part of that too. And the mileage I drove and when I deliver those loads, so I know exactly how much I'm making per week. Battleborn, what's up? McGee Films. Okay, so this is what I did before Truckin' Pro. Now, these are only gross and net numbers based off of my settlements. Okay? Does not include all the expenses like truck payment, fuel, and all that stuff. Well, I take it back. The gross number is what my settlement was on all the loads I did for the week. And then the net is everything I did after fuel and insurance and all that. Fixed costs. Okay? The truck payment is not part of that net. And, scales, tolls, and all that kind of stuff, okay? This is not 100% accurate, but what it does is it gives me a trend of what I'm averaging for the month as far as miles, gross and net, and what my gross per mile is, what my net per mile is, and what my net per mile after the truck payment is. Those are your, fuel and truck payment is your biggest expenses. So, I have numbers like this, okay? I know I'm showing this really quick. I know some of you are probably driving, but what this does, it tells me the trends. So, for example, now before I start giving you these numbers, let it be known, okay? I'm not a hard runner, okay? That's number one. Number two, I want to be honest with you guys, okay? Number three, it tells me what I need to make. When I was at Landstar and I did this kind of book, Shadow Wolf says I give up doing all that once I got up to 5 months, I just looked at the bank account. Well, here's the thing. I used to do that when I was at Landstar. And then when I finally started tracking the numbers this way, I realized that my rate per mile was decent, but my consistency wasn't. I was only getting like 600 miles. I just couldn't piece things together. And that's why this is important, because it allows you to learn and make the adjustments, where you need. Now, I do use Truckin' Pro program, Fogline software. However, this is the old school way of doing it. I just don't have everything in here. I just have what the trends are, what I can expect. Okay. Now, this doesn't include referral bonuses. If you guys think that I'm getting a lot of referral bonuses because of my videos, I've only gotten 3 in the last 2 years. Okay, so I've only referred 3 people. I was not a referral machine like Jeffrey Like or Ike Stevens. You know, I didn't get a free iPad. You know, so and also my numbers are a lot lower than what some of the other guys do, especially on the gross numbers. But the net numbers will be interesting to you guys. All right, you guys ready for this? All right, we got 41 people in here. So, all right. So for the year, okay. I wish Jeffrey was in here, but he's working on that van, I bet. Okay. Can you guys guess how many miles I ran this year? TJ, what's up? Mike Stevens, is he in here? Larry Yukon, Pale Rider, Larry Fisher, Dale Adami, Ace, Big Rich, 87,456. That's not bad. McGee Films, you're way off. Sean Price, you're a little high. I know you do. You gotta be. Shadow Wolf. You've been an owner for a while, so I know you got to keep track. So, all right, guys. Battleborn actually is the closest. Actually, no. Who's the closest here? No, I didn't run no 120,000 miles. Nothing witty. You're funny. All right. So, 79,943. So, about 80,000 if you count the deadhead that I did coming home from Rolla. Okay. Now, that's where my gross number is going to seem low to you guys. Okay, because I'm not running 100,000 miles a year. Okay. When you run percentage, there's no need to do that. When you dispatch yourself, there's no need to run 100,000 miles a year. Now, I could and make a lot more money, but here's what I had, okay? My days off, okay, when you figure up your per diem, okay, the way they do the per diem, your accountant's going to ask you how many days were you out and how many days were you home. So if you come home on Friday and you go off duty, that's considered a half a day. Anytime that you get to the house or leave the house, it's considered a half a day. Okay? Now, you could do 600 miles. You can leave the house and do 600 miles, but it's considered a half a day. Okay? So what I did is, on the monthly deal here, I put half D or O. Half is when I left or came to the house. D is when I was out on the road. And O is when I was off. Okay? I was off a total of 95 days for the year. Okay? That is not too far from somebody that works Monday through Friday having the weekend off and a vacation day or two. If you count my half days and full days out, I did 270 days out. Now, you guys that ran 100,000 miles or more, how many days were you off? That's the difference, okay? That's the difference. You know, I saw in here that Pale Rider said he did 140,000 miles. But Pale Rider very rarely goes home. That's by his choice. You know. What did Larry Fisher say that's so funny? 1 million miles, pinky finger. Oh, okay. I get it. Yeah, a little, was it Austin Powers there? Now, CPAP says banker hours. That's right. Okay. So, I don't have the net numbers for December on this next week. December is a 5-week month. Okay. Shadow Wolf, that's funny. All right, so now for the numbers. Okay. Part of me is okay. So let's put a disclaimer here. Okay. Yes, Anthony, it does count. Mentally off does count, okay? I know that there's a lot of owner-operators that make a lot more than I do, okay? There are owner-operators here at Snyder that make a lot more than I do. I told you guys that being an owner-operator is a learning experience, okay? You don't just, make 180 grand a year out of the gate. You just don't, unless you're just running your truck off, okay? You spot market guys like Big Rich there, your numbers are going to be a lot higher. Now remember, I'm making changes this year. Okay? Now, when I talk to Jeff about numbers, when he tells me the numbers that he does, and then he gives me the same numbers, like if I did his loads, under the percentage I'd be making at Like Trucking, it is literally double of what I'm making now. Okay? So I'm looking forward to making changes. Okay? Now, the gross numbers are low, but my net numbers are fairly decent for Snyder. Okay? Now, I know prime drivers get a percentage, but I know that a lot of them work a lot harder than I do. I know that, say, somebody from Crete gets a mileage, set mile rate per mile. And the advantage that you have probably, if you get a set rate per mile, is you get paid deadhead. That's the problem with percentages. Most of the time, you don't get paid the deadhead. All right, so my year-end numbers, okay? My gross year-end number is $99,041.31. Okay? That's $1,000 more than I made last year. So I'm improving. And I know that there's somebody going to watch this video. I may not make this public after this video is done. If you missed it, tough cookies, right? But I told you guys I'm always honest with you, okay? And it's all on how you want to run, what your goals are, and what you need out of it. What I like here is the freedom and now here's the thing. Dre talked about a cap that he seemed to can't get above. And I'd be curious to see what Dre's numbers were for the year that he was here. Just to see if his monthly rate per mile was there, okay? For example, October, $1.28 gross. November, $1.30. September, $1.25. January, $1.31, $1.37, $1.26, $1.25, $1.18, $1.23, $1.21. Do you see where I'm at? I'm always within a 10-cent difference, okay? How can I improve on that? How can I improve on that rate per mile? What are you Snyder Finance guys averaging on your gross per mile? What are you averaging? Okay? CPAP, that's about what your numbers look like. Right. Okay? Now, taking this consideration, okay? What's Crete pay per mile? $1.26. CPAP says he's at $1.26. I'd be curious. What about the other Snyder Finance guys are in here? What are you making? I haven't watched Christian Trucker's videos yet. So CPAP, your net is 49 cents a mile. Ace is still working it all out. Ace, you've got this growing period that you got to go through. So, but you're going to find yourself around the $1.30, $1.40 mark. Okay? Because, as Dre said, that you can have $5,000 and $6,000 weeks here, but you're not going to do it every single week. Okay? Now, let's talk about daily average. Okay? Oh, 49 cents this company. I'm talking about the owner-operators at Crete. Okay? Anthony T says, my thoughts exactly. If you're happy, bills paid, and family take care of you, shouldn't worry. Excuse me. True, but I want to improve because, as an owner-operator, you're taking a lot of expense. You're taking a lot of risk. Jay Cannell did a video about owner-operators barely making above a company wage. Now, if you go with my net numbers, so far, I'm making barely above a company driver. Some company drivers are getting more than I do, okay? Daniel Nottingham says, you're probably killing yourself to get that $5 or $6 grand. Right, those guys are running, and I was talking to Gary Compton about this the other day. Those guys are running like 3,500 miles, 3,600 miles a week to do that. So, you guys are distracting me with your comments. Shadow says that's true. Owner-operators get screwed. Right. So if I'm going to be an owner-operator, I'm going to do it with the freedom of no dispatch and to book and schedule my own loads. Okay? And I told my wife when we first started this that as long as I'm getting just at or above a company driver, having that freedom is worth it. Okay? Daniel Nottingham, there's a comment you said I'm going to... Yeah, I already read about killing yourself. Okay, so... That sounded bad. Okay. But I'd be curious to see what the Snyder Finance guys are getting on the average for the month. Are they at $1.40 a mile? Are they at $1.80 a mile? I doubt it. Because the way the load's been running, you can do a load in one day for $1,000, but then the next load might take 2 days and be like $800. Daniel Dami says I've done 120,000 miles since the end of February, and that's with the month off because of military duties back in April. So your miles are consistent with Pale Rider there. You work for the same company. Okay. Now, how am I sitting? My truck is in the shop right now. And I'm not worried. Okay? And I'm not going to be putting anything on the credit card. So again, another improvement. 2 years ago, that wasn't the case. 1 year ago, that wasn't the case. 1 year ago, I was putting 10 grand on the credit card for that turbo. So, if you take, now I told you guys I'm averaging about $1.25, as low as $1.18, as high as $1.35 a mile. Okay. Now, so if you take the miles and my gross, what is my average gross per mile for the year? It is $1.23. Now, before you guys make a comment on that, before anybody watching the replay is going to be like, oh, you think $1.23 is good for... shut up. Because I don't want to hear it. Okay? And here's why. I don't sit there and brag about how much money I make. I don't sit there and brag about, $1.23 being good. Okay? That's relative to what you need and what you want. Big Rich says since November 13, I'm at 9,001 total miles, gross 2480.64. So do the math on that. So what's your average rate per mile then, Big Rich? Daniel Nottingham says, there you go. If you're happy and bills are paid, that's good. Happy's not really the word, because here's the thing. There's a lot of stuff around the house that needs to be repaired. Okay, there's a lot of things that need to be done. I don't have that credit card paid off yet because I want to have my maintenance fund built up where I don't need the credit card. Then I'm going to start making good stabs at the credit card. Okay, I'm looking at ways to take out my expenses. Shadow Wolf said, when all is said and done, year end, if your bills are paid, you got food on the table, and the family's good, and the old lady hasn't left, you're good to go. That's a fact. Right. Shadow Wolf, but not everybody has that attitude. Because there was one video where I mentioned about doing a load for $1 a mile to get home, and somebody just reamed me in the comments about how I can't believe that these Schneider drivers think that $1 a mile is good. No one said $1 a mile was good. I never said that. Okay? But if your costs are $1.20 a mile and you're only averaging $1.18, there's a problem there. And that's what a lot of guys aren't talking about. Now, Big Rich said that his average rate per mile since November 13 is $2.27 a mile. So if you take 227, 2.27 divided by 2, that's $1.13 a mile. That's almost double of what I'm making now. Okay? Why do you think I'm going to make changes? Okay? Big Rich is doing spot market freight. Guys, the spot market is killing it. Killing it, man. The reason why I came over here to Snyder from Landstar is because the rates had hit an all-time bottom and I couldn't get consistent loads. My rate per mile was the same, but I was not getting the daily average I need. And I came over here for consistency. Now I have that consistency, but and you can see by my numbers, I'm floating around the $1.20 mark, right? So that's consistency. There's no dips, there's no highs. February I only worked 2 weeks because I had a truck down and then I bought the other truck. Okay? So I'm learning, and I'm on my second truck. So, so for my average gross per mile to be around that mark means that I've been consistent. Okay? Big Rich says, if the spot market drops, I'll definitely consider leasing on with the mega carrier. I don't see the spot market dropping anytime soon, though. No, Big Rich, it's supposed to be like this for a couple of years. Facebook and YouTube, I hate making comments on just for that reason, says Ronald. Who cares what other things if you're happy with it? We'll get into the comment thing here in a minute here. Hey, Rob, what's up? Big Rich says, with your experience, you'd likely do a lot better than me. Right, and when I've talked the numbers with Jeff, making the percentage that Jeff and I have talked about, my rate per mile will be double on the gross side. However, my costs will be up because I'll have a trailer payment and I'll have a higher insurance payment, right? But the higher gross is gonna give me a higher net. So, it balances it out. It's better. I still come out better. Yeah, level it out. Yeah. So Brent says spectacular rates on the general public boards this week. I know, man. I've been watching the rate per miles page on Facebook, and guys are seeing $7, $8 a mile, and that's because this time of year. Here's the thing. I'm not out there running a lot during Christmas and New Year's because of all the low cancellations and all that stuff. But it's not really worth it to be out there because with contract freight, we're not seeing this boom. So it does me no good to work for the holidays. You know, Big Rich, when you had that load that I think got canceled on you, that was paying $5,000 to go from Kansas to Florida, or what was it? Or was it $7,000? I would work over Christmas for that kind of money, but for $1.18, $1.20 mile, I ain't doing it. See the difference there? The problem I had at Landstar is that feast or famine, and when I feasted, I rested. I didn't continue at it. So Peterbilt Mark says if your costs, insurance and trailer increase say 20%, but you net 35% more, you're a golden. Right. And that's what I'm looking at, Mark, is that kind of number. A says I want to do the spot market too. Big Rich says he's excited for me. That's right. I've been watching. Rates are awesome right now. And Shadow Wolf, you should be seeing a little bit of that since you guys are on percentage as well. But, you know, I don't know how much broker freight you guys do versus contract freight, though. I don't know how Prime is with that. So now let's so basically my whole purpose of coming over to the Big Orange over Landstar was that I needed consistency, and I got that. A couple of years ago, Jeff put out his numbers from Truck and Pro of what he was making over here, and they're a little bit higher, but he's got 9 years with this program. In the area that he works in, he knew the loads. Brent says this morning there was an Effingham to Grove City drive in, 280 miles, $2,800. That's insane, dude. And that's an easy run, man. That's a straight shot down 70. It's like, that's like my favorite lane right there between Effingham and Columbus, And, okay, so let's look at Gary Compton and I were talking about this too. Okay, so now I know my average rate per mile, but what am I making per day? Big Rich, what were you averaging per day? You Snyder Finance guys, what are you averaging per day? That's important, okay? So what I did is I combined my half days and drive days, and then I divided those numbers by my gross numbers, okay? Now, I try to shoot for $400 to $500 a day. Shadow Wolf says that sounds like a bait load just to get you to call. At Landstar, it would be. But those rates are for real, dude. Those rates are for real. If you guys aren't a part of it already, Rate Per Mile Masters on Facebook is a good page. You got to sort through all the ELD crap. You got to sort through some of the endorsements or whatever. But there is some good, hard info there that a lot of owner-operators have improved on, including myself. Okay? CPAP says he tries for $500 a day at least. What is your cost per day, CPAP? Like, what do you absolutely need? Okay, there's a difference. So my goal is $350 a day. If I can do above that, cool. But if I'm not, I'm okay with that. All right? So my average per day, if you count all the days I was out and all the days, half days, $366 per day on the gross side. Okay? I will flat out tell you that if I had a Schneider Finance truck, I'd be broke right now. I'd be in the hole. Plain and simple. That's why I don't give a whole lot of advice to the Schneider Finance guys, because my world's completely different. Completely different. Okay? the whole point of this, of my honesty, is that yes, I do need improvement. But I guarantee you that most of the Snyder guys are around the same. Seemed like there was a couple other Snyder guys in here that said something. Forgive me, guys. I'm going through the comments here. Maybe I missed it. Anthony T. $1.35 is way better than 84 cents per mile and having a $975 a week fixed cost for a truck made for Sad Panda. Yeah. Brent says incremental positive steps until now and upcoming positive jump in the future. That's been it's a journey, guys. You know, for you brand new owner operators or lease ops, and it's a learning experience. And if you're just winging it, not keeping track of your numbers, you don't know when you're failing or when you're not. Nothing Witty says if you had a SFI truck, you wouldn't necessarily be broke. You would have had a different goal and just run harder. Right. You know, guys, check this out again. When it came time for me to get rid of the Peterbilt, I actually called Snyder Finance. I don't know if you guys know this or not. Okay. And I talked it over with Jeff. And of course, Jeff has a good way of simplifying numbers. Okay, well, if you make this per day, this, that. He goes, what it's going to do, Steve, it's going to teach you to run a little bit different. And that's true. Why do you think that Snyder Finance goes with weekly payments versus monthly payments? Because they want to keep that pressure on you to run. It does Snyder National no good if you're at home, if you take 2 weeks off. A lot of the Landstar guys with paid off trucks, they'll work 2 weeks, then they'll take the rest of the month off, right? But yeah, I would have to run a little different. The only reason why I didn't choose Snyder Finance, okay, is because I did not like the equity of what I would have in the truck at the end of the 3-year lease. I didn't like that number, okay, and that's it. And since I have other avenues of getting a truck, that's what I did. So there's nothing wrong with having a Snyder Finance truck, okay? James Best started with one, and now he's got his own truck. TK, who's in here, he started with one, he's got his own truck. Steve Berger, you know? I'm just a company guy for now. Don't get to worry about costs until 6 months. Things will change within that amount of time. Right, Anthony? Clyde, what's up? Yeah, we all have old Prime trucks, too. Big Rich. It's like you got Steve Berger, TK. I don't think James Best has got an old Prime truck, but yeah, we're all like in this group. Big Tex Trucking, how much are they paying a week? Big Tex, they're looking at about $900 to $1,100 a week for a Snyder Finance truck. Shadow Wolf says, I need $267 per week to set my truck. If you're an owner, and I'm sure you can figure the rest net gross. I'm happy and you do run cheap freight when I have too. Right. Data Nottingham says Prime trucks are good. Includes MMA. Yeah. Yeah, TK's in here. What were you paying for your Kenworth 680 a week? If you don't mind saying. Big Tex Trucking, I got a good deal on the Western Star. Now, so let's pretend that you have a monthly truck payment. Okay? Divide that truck payment by 4, and that's your weekly payment. So, my truck payment, get the calculator out. My truck payment is about $396, $400 a week. Okay, the Peterbilt was $500 a week. Now, here's where the numbers are misleading. When you took all the repairs I had with the Peterbilt on top of the truck payment, guess what? That truck was just as high as the Snyder Finance truck, but not as reliable. Old Sarge. Trend seems to be to start with SFI and then buy your own truck. Do you see guys staying with SFI and succeeding? There are some that do that. There are guys that are on their second and third trucks, Old Sarge. They do the 3-year lease, then they get another one. Big Tex has got a brand new Western Star for $475 a week. That's pretty good. Okay. So basically, in one run, I get my truck payment for the week. And that's how you got to kind of look at things, TK says I did pretty good even with the SFI truck. Now, guys, add the rest to that one. It's more than that. So, that's my year-end numbers. I won't even tell you what I was making at Landstar. A says it depends on what your definition of success is. Guys, success is an ongoing thing, okay? I know guys that had like brick and mortar stores, right? For 2, 5, 10 years. And then suddenly they're done. They were successful up to a certain point, and then they gave it up or something, right? How many guys have you run into that have been lease operators for several different companies? My Truck of Life Ace says, I'm sure I can make $1,500 a week with SFI truck. Lost Cause, what's up? Clyde says, Clyde is a Snyder Finance guy. I average $4,500 a week. Revenue all in for truck, fuel, insurance, and MMA, and payment averages $2,000 a week. Right. Everybody that I know over here is averaging $1,500 to $2,000 a week. Net. Okay? If you're a Snyder Finance guy, you just have to make a little bit more to get that. But it's done. It's doable. See, TK got a better deal than I did. My used truck payment is $1,400 a month, includes APU. Mine is $100, $185 more than that. So, what this does is it allows me to look at what I need to improve on. Okay, but see, I run a lot of the same loads, run the same areas. I don't do anything out of the ordinary. And if I have done a little bit out of the ordinary, like when I went to Pennsylvania, I kind of got bit. I made a good money going into PA, but I got hit coming out. But it was easy to recover from that. TK, so did I. 4-year note. If I had the $10,000 down payment, I would have bought from dealer, but it is what it is for now. Right. Peterbilt Mark says, I'm selling my house so I can be fat on the cash and can buy my own truck when it comes to it. Right. Now, I could go over to like trucking and double my gross and run less and still make the same amount of money. That wouldn't do me any good. But, that's another step because I got to get my own plate and I got to get my own trailer. And I have no idea what buying a trailer is going to be like. And those of you can attest that if you've bought a truck outside of a lease plan, you know that it's a pain in the butt. So where's the trailer? Is the trailer going to be that hard, Anthony T says, not going to mention names, but a particular truck owner jumped companies multiple times, complained about money. That's common, man. That's common. 90% of the time, if you have an owner operator that's not doing well, it's up here. It's not the company. It's like Traveloka. You got people that have done well there, and you got people that haven't done well. A couple of guys from Traveloka came back to Snyder. So, Daniel Nottingham says buy a good used one. Right. Well, I hope it's not a major process. Let me tell you something, guys, okay? I know somebody that went to Kenworth, okay? He custom ordered a truck. Paid cash for it. Okay? And it was still a pain in the butt. And he had to go all the way to a trailer dealership in Kentucky to get the trailer that he wanted. Because half the salespeople don't give a rat's butt, You would think that if you have cash on hand that you can get whatever you want, but still, it's a pain in the butt. So, Daniel says don't go older than 10 years. Yeah, I know about that. I've yet to go trailer shopping, because I wanted to make sure that things are going to go through like they go through, because it wasn't look like it was going to go through. But now, you guys saw Jeffrey's video. It looks like things are going to go through. Now, if you, I've talked to owner operators that bought a truck and trailer with credit cards. Then they just paid the credit cards off in 2 years, and they owned everything free and clear. Richie Auctions, yeah, I've seen their lots. Truck dealers don't care; they're going to sell no matter what until freight slows. Right, Shadow Wolf. But it's amazing to me that if you're willing, you think that if you're selling over $160,000, $180,000 for a truck, hey, at least have the, I don't know, at least be pleasant to talk to. You know what I mean? So there you go. There's some of my year-end numbers. Daniel says, or rent one for a minimum, build up some money. For a minute, build up some money. I thought about that, but I don't know what trailer rentals cost. Now, let's talk about commenting, because you know that people are going to comment after this video is uploaded. I can't believe you think that's good money. Okay, all right? Let's talk about that for a minute. There's a lot of YouTubers, and you guys are probably subscribed to some of them, that they make videos that I completely it blows my mind how ridiculous it is, okay? But I don't comment on them. Because if there's something you don't like I do this on Facebook too. If there's something I don't like, I don't react to it. I don't show that I paid attention to it. And so for somebody to go out of their way to tell a certain YouTuber, hey, you're a complete idiot, you shouldn't be talking about that kind of thing, to me, you're just adding fuel to the fire. All you're doing is adding negativity to that. You don't make ridiculous videos. If there's something I don't like, I just don't comment. Because I don't get fired up about what other people say. I just don't. Because if you can do that, you can be a lot happier in life. Imagine you're sitting at the truck stop counter, right? You're eating your buffet crap, right? And and like the driver 3 seats down from you is talking to another driver, and he's like, "Oh, I did this, da 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 da." Are you going to sit up and say, "Well, I hate that. You shouldn't be doing that," right? It's the same thing. Big Rich says they only lease to large carriers, but they sell their old trailers to anyone. I've already called them. Who are you guys talking about? Big Rich says, I'm going to check out Extra Lease in Charlotte. Want to buy one of their old trailers. Anthony T says there's a Peterbilt dealership that only does custom 300-foot or 300-inch 389s. They won't even look at you unless they know you make money to lease their rigs. Kevin and Ollie, what's up? CPAP says my dumb videos nobody watches anyways. CPAP, cut the pity crap. You're gaining subscribers and people watch your videos. You can't have that attitude. If you have that attitude, yeah. If you sit there and say my dumb videos nobody watches, don't have that attitude, dude. Okay? Spud Runner says, sounds like you're more than ready for your own authority. That's a step. I'm trying to do the step before that. Yeah, Kevin and Ollie just subbed to CPAP. Ace just subscribed. Weird Racist says $8,000 you can get a nice orange trailer used. No. Whether you have a Snyder trailer or an old Snyder trailer, no one lets you over in the left lane. And I hate pulling the old Snyder trailer, so I definitely don't want to buy one. Right? Ace, would you buy an old Snyder trailer? How many of you Snyder guys would buy an old Snyder trailer? And then if you do, you have to put $2 or $3 or $4 grand into it. So for that money, you can just get a decent used trailer. Foo Mooch is in the house. E Street says I subbed to CPAP because he's getting out of trucking and going to work at Kroger. Sean Price, hell no. Right? Guys, Snyder, Swift, Werner trailers, you can find them all day long. They're cheap, but they're spring ride. That's number one. Number two, they've been beat the crap out of. They've been beaten up. Even if you put all new tires, all new brakes, all new wheels, that suspension and that floor has been through a lot. Just get a roller brush and repaint it. Oh, you make a point there, Weird Racing. I just laughing because I just had this mental image of me going, I hate orange, I hate orange. Good luck sliding the tandems. Actually, our trailers aren't too bad on the tandems. I've never had to fight one. Well, no, I take it back. There's one I had to hammer a little bit, but that's it. Out of 2 years, that's not bad. I remember at Transland, I was beating the crap out of those trailers all the time. So, and those of you who've never pulled a spring ride trailer, it's different. It beats you up a little bit more, and it feels heavier. Yeah, he's close. I agree with you. But, one step at a time, right? I got to get my plate, then the trailer will be in the next step. So it is harder on the truck, Sean. You're right. I remember when I picked up my first Snyder trailer. Shadow Wolf, Happy New Year to you, sir. I thought the thing was loaded. Well, I opened the door and it said it looked like it was empty, but it felt loaded. It felt like it had 10 grand in the box. You know? So, but yeah, spring ride trailers, you don't want that. In fact, Snyder's in the middle of a lawsuit where some equipment they hauled, it was really expensive. They put it on a Snyder trailer and it got damaged. Imagine that. Yeah, so no, I ain't buying no Snyder trailer. I'll rent before I do that. Can't be worse than Celadon trailer. Does Celadon have spring ride, Anthony? Satisfaction is watching old Snyder trailers blow by me and then waving at them when they pull into the scales. That's funny, rhymes with orange. Well, man, I'm going listen, but I'm going back on the road. You guys take it easy. All right, Daniel, thanks for stopping in. Going to be meeting up with the legend in a few. Daniel, which one is that? Pale Rider? Those 900 series are great. Not, CPAP says. Right, I when I picked up in Durant, the other day, I brought in an empty 177, which is like the newest trailer. And then, or no, we're up to 179 now, and I got a 949 in return. I train and I net 1,300 for running only 2,000 miles, lease for 1,400 before tax and insurance. Why? LOL. Right, Jonathan. I know people are making good money at Prime, but a lot of them train to make that extra cash. And I did my share of training when I was a company guy, and I don't miss those days at all. I don't miss them at all, at all. I got into trucking because I wanted to be by myself in the truck. No team member, let alone somebody who can't drive or can't listen to what I tell them. But I did it because I thought maybe I could make an improvement to the industry and train these guys right. And one of them is the VP of Safety Director there at Opie's. So I guess I did something right once. So, Swap Billy, Happy New Year. Clyde says some of the 97 and 98 track better than the new ones. Clyde, I will agree with you. Very rarely do I have a trailer that goes straight. At one point, I thought maybe my fifth wheel was off. MS carrier trailers rule. I think you're lying. I think that's sarcasm. Maybe Snorlord. Well, it makes sense if he met up with Pale Rider. Are you going to stalk outside of his truck and start going live before he's even in the truck, like you did with me? You still going to Dallas next week? Right now, I've got a load going to Oklahoma that picks up Tuesday, and it depends on what I find out of there. But more than likely, I'll have to end up in Dallas. Right now, the low board is just kind of worthless because it's the end of the year. So a lot of stuff probably won't even hit the low board till Tuesday morning. So we'll see. Daniel Stock snore like a lion to a gazelle. Big Rich, that's funny. I think everyone is staying home till Tuesday, says CPAP. Yeah, that's the thing. We're talking about comments. Somebody commented on my video about it being cold and said, "Well, just run the southern states." The southern states are going to get cold. Dude, it's going to be in the 30s in Florida. So you can't escape the cold this time. So, not that 30s is bad, compared to negative 20, but my truck needed some work. The cold air has brought out an air leak, made it worse. And my truck's at Kenworth right now, and guess what? They haven't called me to tell me it's ready yet. So that's not a good sign. Spud Runner says you may want to look at a spread axle trailer. Spud, I don't know. I'm not getting a reefer, and I know that they're on the reefers. I'm just getting a drive-in. Speaking of scales, why don't ICs use DriveWise or other scale bypass device? I use Easy Pass, rhymes with orange, and I love it. I think a lot of guys don't want the expense. I'm like, heck yeah, $15 to hardly ever go on a scale, I'll do that. So, but I don't know. I know several ICs that don't have pre-pass. I don't know anything about DriveWise. I don't know anything about that, but it depends on where you run too. Clyde says I don't use it because a lot of scales are closed. Yeah, but where I run, there's quite a few scales. So um, when I make a switch, I'll definitely be getting the Elite Pass, like what Big Rich is talking about. Yeah, see all these other Snyder guys like I don't have pre-pass yet. Right, right, Rise with Orange. I get you. I get you. I don't know. Does your alternator belt squeak a little when it's really cold? Mine did this morning. Stopped after I drove a while. No, the only thing my truck's been doing because of the cold is it coughs in the beginning. I'll start it. It goes, and then it's good. Anthony says you might as well take a vacation if you take KWMHC. LOL. Kevin says I've got DriveWise, get more bypasses with it than I ever did with pre-pass. I think it depends on the company you work for, too. Ace says I think they skipped over an orientation. I think I got mine in orientation, if I remember correctly. But CPAP, that's a normal thing. That belt's cold. It also squeaks a little when I use the Jake. Yeah, that's strange. How do you get the pre-pass or DriveWise? Um, I think in orientation, what they did with me is I had a form I filled out. That's all I did. And then you call, they set it up, and then you're good to go. He talked about it, but never came back to it. Yeah. So maybe I didn't get my pass during orientation. Wait, no, I think I did. I had to activate it because I got the easy pass and the pre-pass in the same deal. And I remember when I tried to go through a toll for the first time, it didn't register because I hadn't set up the account yet. So, all right, E Street. If you want tolls covered, you have to put $200 down, says Big Rich. That's fine. That's no big deal. As an operator, you have to set up the account. Yeah. So my Easy Pass worked, but the pre-pass was built into it, and so I had to call and set that up. What was weird is I still got green lights before I set up my account, so it was kind of weird. But I did have to. I was going through a toll booth in Indiana, and of course the arm didn't come up, and I'm like, it should have been activated, but it wasn't. And I ended up having to swipe a credit card to get across. Anthony says when my KW was at Trans Am, it had to be towed at MHC to do a force regen. Was there a week? Yeah, well, here's the thing, man. They got until Tuesday at 3 o'clock to get it done. So Benjamin Duke says pre-pass, best pass with tolls is a time saver. Right. So here's another thing I did. You guys might think I'm crazy. I use Oklahoma all the time. Okay? I'm on Oklahoma Turnpike all the time. And a friend of mine called me and said, hey, you ought to get a K tag. Because K tag covers Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. Whereas if you buy the Pike Pass, it only covers Oklahoma. Now, the way our Easy Pass is set up, Snyder, if we go through a state where the toll's not paid, like Indiana or Ohio, Snyder just takes that out of our settlement. but I still don't have to have cash up front. However, if I want to get reimbursed for Oklahoma or Kansas, I have to take the receipt and scan it in. Well, some of the Oklahoma turnpike roads, the side roads, you need exact change, and there's no teller. That's a lot harder to do in a truck. And I got tired of, like, when you go from, like, say on I-44, you go from like from that toll booth there just past McDonald's to Big Cabin, you're like stopping like 4 times, you know. So I went ahead and got the pass. Now I don't get reimbursed by Schneider anymore, but it's still a tax write-off. So, and I enjoy it. It's funny. I blow through those toll booths, waving at the other Schneider drivers. So, you know, K-Tag's the way to go because it covers Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas. And then if you use K-Tag for Kansas, I think there's a discount. So, and everything's in a nice monthly statement. At the end of the year, I'm going to just send that in. So, but, you know, K-Tag also covers the tolls there in Dallas. Kevin and Ollie, he forgot to pay his K-Tag, he says. I got mine where it's automatically taken out. They send me a monthly statement via email, and I know how much to deduct. Jeffrey Like, you missed everything, dude. Oh, man. Haven't tried it on the Sam Houston road, toll road. I don't know. I've heard Houston is different. Something went wrong. Maria Lynn says, we were the coldest capital in the world today with wind chills of 36 below zero. Man. No way. These miles just... Steel becomes brittle, man. I can't even imagine even running in those kind of areas with the truck. I don't see how the ice road truckers guys do it. You know. Wow. Yeah, negative 36, man. We're not supposed to see that kind of cold, but we are going to be in the negative digits. And maybe if Kenworth takes too long, my truck will be inside the nice warm shop. Batteries are dead, I bet. So, Jeffrey, I can't start over. You've missed an hour's worth. I was going over my numbers. My numbers, Jeff. My written numbers, not my Truckin' Pro numbers. And I'm looking forward to improving these numbers. What it comes down to, Jeffrey Like says, give me a fast replay, is that I'm averaging the same average that I've told you about. And I've got all the numbers for the year end. I did a gross of $99,041.31. And I ran a total of 79,943 miles. So that puts me at my average of $1.23. There you go, Jeff. I know it's poopy. We talk about that too. We talk about how everybody's going to make fun of me and all this stuff. Okay, everyone. No, Jeff already went over my numbers there. K-Tag don't work in Houston. Yeah, I didn't think it did, James Neal. Thanks for clarifying that. I don't go to Houston that much, and when I do, I don't use the toll road. Dallas, though, I like using the toll roads there. It's supposed to. Yeah, it does, Kevin. Kevin says, didn't know that K-Tag worked in Dallas. Cool. Right. And, you know, and if you don't have K-Tag in Dallas, you know, you can do the mail thing, you know, the mail-in thing, but it's like $1 more. Russ Maynard says he's got fiber gummies. TMI, dude, TMI. I like the toll road going around Austin. Yeah, Big Rich, I hear you there. And that is a... Whether, I don't know if the K-Tag works on the Austin toll road, but it's a mail-in thing. So either way, you don't have to have cash. So... But Guys, I told you I'm always honest with my videos, okay? And these numbers are a reflection of me and what I'm doing. And the other Snyder Finance guys are averaging about the same, if not a little bit more than me. So, you know, that's what to expect. All right, Jeffrey. Let's do it. You got to watch the replay, Jeff. I know it's a long video. You know, while you're working on that van, you can listen to it. Tomorrow? Tomorrow you're going to listen to it? Or you want me over there tomorrow? Big Rich says, I must have missed some news from Jeffrey Like. Well, you got to go back. You left the replay up. So, hopefully this Kenworth deal won't cost me an arm and a leg. Like I said, I'm getting the check engine checked out. I'm getting a service, PM, and I'm getting a new front shocks. Decided to throw those in there too. Oh, and the air leak fix. That's the big one. These T680s, the clutch actuators have a tendency to leak air. You know, if you see a T680 in the truck stop and the cab's like on the fairing, it's probably the clutch actuator. Steve Berger had that problem and he got his fixed. So I thought, you know, I had a bad air leak a couple of months ago at a customer and I had to like get an emergency repair on it. It cost me about $300 something. And then the leak was slower after that, but not 100%. And then yesterday I came home, got out of the truck, and I could hear air hissing. So Big Rick says all the CFI trucks do that. Jeff is working on Colin's mystery machine. Jeffrey Like needs a steak. Well, what's a clutch? I got an auto. I'm not sure. I'm not a real trucker, says CPAP. No. Okay, well, that's the end of this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Big Tex is still in warranty. No, my warranty wore out in February. Or not February, August. Jeffrey says took the other wheel off and that bearing is shot also. Yeah, here's... When I bought the truck, it had... What did it have on it? I bought the truck with 372,000 miles on it. And right now it's got 452. So. But see, that net number that I did... See, I grossed about the same, if not a little bit less, with the Peterbilt last year. But my net number was lower because I burned through more fuel. And, of course, I had all the truck repairs. So... CPAP says, tomorrow I'm doing my yearly numbers, people. SFI truck, big numbers, folks. Now, you guys want to talk about numbers? Kristen Trucker has a numbers video every week. He just posted one today. And he has a Snyder Finance truck. He'll tell you what he's making also. So, everybody subscribe to Kristen Trucker. He's hard to find in the search, so if you search Kristen Trucker, Snyder IC, one of his videos will come up, and then you can, find the videos from there. He's also honest with his numbers. There's a lot of YouTubers that are honest with their numbers. A lot of them are trainers, and they won't tell you that, or they get a lot of referral bonuses, they don't tell you that part. I keep my referral bonuses separate. Like I said, I've only gotten 3 in the last 2 years. So... Because if you get 10 referrals at $1,000 a piece, that's $10,000. Well, there's no write-offs on that money. So you got to set some of that aside if you're getting that many referrals. And you can't throw that in your revenue because that throws your numbers off, because it makes it look like you're making more money than you actually are. So you don't want that. So anyways, mine are all on my paper notebook software, LOL. Guys, get the Fogline software or get some kind of spreadsheet. Steve Berger's doing some kind of spreadsheet too that he's wanting to start selling, I think, for Microsoft. Have some kind of spreadsheet. So Peterbilt Mark says I've got the Fogline. Right, and see, and I still got most of November and December to add to Fogline. So these are just my at a glance numbers that I use and what Jeffrey calls my Snorlord book. So TK says I'm using profit gauges but might switch. Well, TK, the time to switch is January 1st because that way you can start fresh. See, I didn't start fresh this year. I got mine in July. And so my numbers aren't 100% because I don't have everything in there for the year. So that's why I still got this. So you need 50,000 subs before I can afford it. Weird Race says I got the Fogline software the other week, just installed into my laptop. I'm going to have to do that for 2018. Now's the time to get it because there's a learning curve on that software, guys. There's a learning curve on what, like when I first started, I was putting in trailer numbers and all kinds of information I didn't really need. And so one day I called Jeff. I said, did you add this or this or this when you were at Schneider? And he goes, no, you don't need any of that. I'm like, all right, cool. And it simplified the process quite a bit. However, I write everything down. I think I went over that. You got to write down your deadhead miles, your odometer, or write down your fuel. And I write down, I don't put the load numbers or anything in, but I do put the revenue and, and that way, all I got to do when I go to the Fogline software is I just open this up, enter the information, and there you go. It's done. But come January, I'm going to be doing it. I'm thinking about getting a laptop stand for the truck. So that way it's there. It's plugged in, ready to go. So all I got to do is, put it in. CPAP says, seriously thinking about 2018, new things, good things going to happen. Right. So guys, if you're a new owner-operator or even an older owner-operator, keep track of your numbers because that'll tell you how good or bad or what your goals are and all that stuff. Fogline even contacted me to make sure I had no problems with installing, probably because it took me a while to authenticate it as I was refurbishing my old laptop. Weird Racing. Yeah. Russ says he currently uses profit gauges. Now, profit gauges has a monthly cost, doesn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong, Russ. Is that a monthly subscription kind of thing? Because if it is, I think you save money with the Fogline. So it is monthly. So it's a tax write-off, right? So, but all right, guys, this video's gone on long enough. Again, I want all my moderators to pay attention, okay? If you see someone, you can moderate regular comments, on the videos, okay? If you see someone being a total D-bag in my comments, feel free to eliminate it because it's not a measuring contest. My numbers aren't awesomely impressive, and I'm making improvements on that. But you know what? I'm home, and I got a truck in the shop, and guess what? I'm not worried about it. Okay? What's that you just sent me, Jeff? What is that? I bet you that R2D2 was really loud. Application, LOL. R2, is that you? Yukon says he's a D-bag. Well, could I be making more money somewhere else? Yeah, and maybe I got plans to do that. But you know what? I'm doing all right. I'm happy. Okay? Click on the link and find out. Well, I can't click on it now, Jeff. My phone isn't that special. So, guys, thanks for watching. Stay warm, says RT Trucker. I will try. Don't do it as a trap. Hey, by the way, I like the new Star Wars. Maria Lynn says, have a happy new year. Maybe we'll see you at 2018 at Matt's. I am definitely going to try to make it. So, next gen knows numbers. 73. Need next of kin for security deposit at Like Trucking. 110-4. Jeffrey sent directions to the steakhouse for your road test. That's what it was. It's a spam bomb. A says, I haven't seen any new movies. He will be there if he is at Like Trucking, because we will all be there. Now, Jeffrey, I remember someone. You know this is coming, dude. He told me, he goes, maybe if my guys don't show up at GATS, maybe they won't get on the Like Trucking, right? And, yeah, who was at GATS? The only guy that could have represented Like Trucking. Me. I know, Jeff. You're low canceled. I know. I got the violin out for you. Oh, hey, by the way, I had a hard brake commit today. Don't use the table for directions to steakhouse. I will not be asking Gear Grabber how to get to the steakhouse. What? I was at Gats's Pale Rider. We were all at Gats, except for Jeffrey and Gear Grabber. They weren't there. They were not there. But no, I definitely want to make mats, because I've heard that mats puts Gats to shame. So, yeah, my truck's still in the shop too, Jeffrey. I hope it's actually in the shop. So if they want to take till Tuesday to repair it and it's still in the shop, hey, great. It'll be warm. So I guess by the tally, your numbers were good. Next gen, that is an opinion of whether they're good or not. They're numbers that I'm okay with, but I want to improve on. Let's just say that. Yours was still outside. Well, at least you're not worried about what the repair bill is going to be, Jeffrey. You can't wait for bats. Is Gear Grabber still in Florida? Jeff, have him call me and, you know, let me say I was at a $1.45 profit. Yeah, Jeff. I said earlier in this video that my numbers with you will be double of what I'm making now. So, and Big Rich confirmed that with his numbers, because he's working the same freight, making the same percentage. So, all right, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. And, you know, I was hoping cameras would call during this video, but they haven't. So, that's fine. I'll probably get a call at like 8 o'clock tonight. And, you know, so Happy New Year, everybody. I'll probably do one more live before New Year's. I'm not going to be that guy that does live feeds every 4 hours just to hear myself talk. I'm not going to be that dude. So, but you guys take it easy, and peace.